Malenia may not be as big as Radan or Fire Giant, but she is considered the toughest boss in Elden Ring. Players attempt to fight her more than 329 million times, that make her the #1 most attempted boss in the entire game. Today I'm going to show you my top 10 Elden Ring build to beat Malenia.
I am Malenia, Blade of Miquella, and I have never known defeat.
Starting off with number 10 is Sword of Night and Flame build. Sword of Night and Flame is a strike sword that scales primarily with strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. This weapon has weapon skill called Night and Flame Stance. With this skill you can do two types of attack. By pressing L2 and R1 button, you can perform the Night to deal magic damage and scale with intelligence. This skill just like Combat Azure but with shorter duration. By pressing L2 and R2 button, you can perform the Flame Burst to deal fire damage and scale with Fate. Combined with Shard of Alexander, Magic Scorpion Charm, and Fire Scorpion Charm Talisman, also Magic Shrouding Cartier and Flame Shrouding Cartier to boost your magic and fire status attack. Make this build a good choice for hybrid build between Intelligence and Fate to defeat Malenia. Number 9 is Lighting Uchigatana build. Uchigatana is a katana that scales primarily with strength and dexterity. This is the starting weapon for Samurai class. It has blood loss built up in it, can be infused with Ash of War and buffed with magic unconsumable that make this weapon very reliable katana and probably the most versatile weapon in the game. Combined with Raptor of the Mist Ash of War that allow you to dodge and counterattack, make this build a good choice for dex build to defeat Malenia. Number 8 is Blasphemous Blade build. Blasphemous Blade is a great sword that scales primarily with strength, dexterity, and faith. This weapon has weapon skill called Taker's Flame, which can heal 10% of your maximum health plus 150 flat health on hit. This skill deals pure fire damage and only scale with faith, so the more faith you have, the more damage can be produced. Just by holding this weapon, you can heal 4% of your maximum health plus 40 flat health on every enemy death. If you think this game is too difficult and you are looking for easy method to defeat Malenia, then this weapon is the answer.
The mark of a true.
Number 7 is Graveside build. Graveside is a Reaper that scales primarily with strength and dexterity. This weapon can cause blood loss build up to the enemy, also the style itself, just like a Grim Reaper. Having this weapon equipped also erase your fatality, which can resist instant death by 35. Combined with Spinning Strike Ash of War and choose Fire as main weapon affinity that allow you to keep swimming your weapon over and over again, make no mistake, this build can melt Malenia like a butter. Number 6 is Nagakiba build. Nagakiba is a katana that scales primarily with strength and dexterity. This is the longest katana in the game, can cause blood loss build up to the enemy, also can be infused with Ash of War, make this katana very versatile weapon to use especially for dex build. Combined with Spinning Slash Ash of War that can deal poison damage to the enemy, make this build one of my top lists to beat Malenia. Number 5 is Zweihander build. Zweihander is a colossal sword that scales primarily with strength and dexterity. What I like about this weapon, it has long reach, can be infused with Ash of War, and can deal great amount of poison damage to the enemy. This weapon can be obtained early in the game by purchasing it from the Isolated Merchant at the very west of Weeping Peninsula for 3,500 runes. Combined with Lion Claw Ash of War to deal great amount of poison damage that can easily break Malenia's stance. Number 4 is Darkmoon Greatsword build. Darkmoon Greatsword is a greatsword that scales primarily with strength, dexterity, and intelligence. This weapon has weapon skill called the Moonlight Greatsword. With this skill you can raise the sword aloft, then bathing it in the light of the dark moon that can temporarily increase magic attack power and imbue your weapon with frost for 60 seconds. When your weapon is in buff mode, you can release blast of moonlight with your heavy attack. The damage also can create great amount of poison damage to the enemy, especially if you are close enough to the target. If you're looking for intelligent build to destroy Malenia within a minute, then this weapon is the answer.
Extraordinary.
Number 3 is Rivers of Blood build. Rivers of Blood is a katana touch scale primary with strength, dexterity, and arcane. This is actually my favorite weapon in the game. With Corpse Pillar weapon skill, you can perform up to 6 successive attacks that can inflict blood loss build up more faster, and the animation just like a double slash but with longer range. Combined with Swarm of Flash incantation, so you can release a swarm of blood flash that can increase blood loss build up even more, make this build is a good choice for blade build to defeat Malenia. Number 2 is Eleonora Pole Blade build. Eleonora Pole Blade is a twin blade that scale primary with strength, dexterity, and arcane. This weapon has weapon skill called Blood Blade Dance, which allow you to perform a flurry of tornado-like attack while leaping into the air. What I like about this weapon is that you can do successive attack easily to inject blood loss build up more faster. To increase your bleed build up injection, make sure to increase your arcane status. So if you're looking for blade build to destroy Malenia as soon as possible, then this build can help you. Number 1 is Monveil build. Monveil is a katana touch scale primary with strength, dexterity, and intelligence. With transient Mon-like weapon skill, you can draw the weapon at great speed for an instant slash attack and fire off a wave of light. It can create a great amount of poison damage, and the weapon itself can inject blood loss build up to the enemy. Combined with Clean Blade Palang Axe of War to your second weapon, such as Uchigatana, make this build an excellent choice to break Malenia's stance. So that is my top 10 Elden Ring build to beat Malenia, and for detail on each build I included in the video description below. As always, for more Elden Ring video, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe button.